Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski. I'm back with another UFC prediction video. This time, UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. This event goes down in 3 weeks. This event goes down Saturday, October 26, 2024. Prelims begin at 10 a.m. It's going down from Abu Dhabi, the UAE. So let's get into it, guys. It's a stacked card. First fight up the night, prelim, Said Nurmagomedov against Daniel Santos. I think this might be a very closely matched fight, man. I don't really feel like we see Said fight too much or too often. You know, he hasn't fought since he beat Mullen Gafarov last October, so it's been a year already. And before that, he lost to Jonathan Martinez. We know how good Jonathan Martinez is. So he's on a one-fight winning streak, 32 years old. He's been in the promotion for several years now. Daniel Santos, 11-2. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. Beat Johnny Munoz Jr., beat John Castaneda. I'm going to side with Said here. I'm gonna give the lean to Said. So that'll be my pick. Kennedy Ninakuchu against Justin Tafa. And Kennedy, he's moving up to heavyweight, man. This guy used to be a light heavyweight. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. I don't know if this is the right move for him, man. He lost to OSP, lost to Dustin Jacoby. I think he might be getting his walking papers here, man. I like Justin Tafa, man. This guy's a heavy hitter, a true heavyweight. You know, he loses the grapplers. I don't see Kennedy out-grappling him here. He lost to Carl Williams, who out-grappled him. But Justin Tafa, man, this guy can knock out anybody if he connects. And I think Justin Tafa is going to knock out Kennedy Ninakuchu. Bruno Silva against Ismail Naurdiev. And again, I don't really understand how Ismail got back into the UFC outside of his manager must have worked out a deal. I mean, I was surprised when he got cut loose from the UFC. I mean, I thought the guy, you know, they called him the Austrian Wonder Boy. So, but now he's moving up to middleweight, 6 feet. He's only on a 1-fight winning streak. He's got a lot of, you know, he's lost a lot of fights in the first round too, so that is worrisome. And he's going up against Bruno Silva, who's a lot older, and he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's 35 years old, on a 3-fight skid. I'm going to side with Naurdiev here, man, but zero confidence in that pick. Up next, Farid Basharat against Victor Hugo. Another interesting fight at 135. Let's take a look at the newly released betting odds for the whole card. And we have Basharat minus 275, the comeback on Victor Hugo Silva plus 225. So I'm going to side with Basharat here. Again, I could see this fight going a couple different ways, but I'm just going to say Basharat might be the better guy. Orolbal versus Rebecki. Rebecki, I believe he's coming off a loss here. And he is. He lost to Diego Ferreira via ground and pound in the 3rd round. And that's just a fight that he shouldn't have lost, but, you know, that stopped his hype train a little bit. And he's going up against Orolbal, who's been nothing but on a winning streak, man. I think he's 2-0 in the UFC. Beat Uros Medic and Elvis Brenner, man. 2 very good wins. And I'm going to say he gets by Rebecki here, too. So my pick will be Orolbal. Ibo Aslan against Rafael Cerqueira. And I'm going to go with Cerqueira here, man. Aslan, I don't know. I just wasn't too impressed at his UFC debut. He beat Anton Turkals, who I don't even believe has got to win in the UFC. But credit to Ibo Aslan, though, because he did show that he could go into the 3rd round. You know, he wasn't just a first-round finisher, so props to him on that angle. Rafael Cerqueira, this guy is, I think he's 11-0. And he hasn't fought in the UFC at all. He hasn't fought on the Contender Series. But I'm going to side with him here to pick up a first-round knockout. Next up, Abus Magomedov against Bruno Ferreira. I'm going to go with Abus here, man. This guy, he's a true middleweight. Bruno Ferreira, man, he looks like he should be fighting at welterweight. He's getting a lot of first-round finishes and that, but he's very sloppy, throwing a lot of spinning stuff. That Dustin Stolfus fight, Dustin Stolfus was kind of having his way with him, man. But, again, he connected on a spinning elbow on Dustin and put him down. But, you know, a technician's going to beat this guy. A guy with more length like Abus is going to beat this guy. Abus has a ground game. I see Abus getting back on. I see Abus getting another win here, honestly, man. I think this is Abus' fight to win. So I'm going to side with Abus Magomedov. Jeff Neal against Rafael Dos Anjos. Two guys that, you know, are kind of stuck in mud. I mean, Rafael Dos Anjos, you know, he's kind of too small for welterweight, but, you know, he's not really having success at 55. You know, he's close to retirement. Jeff Neal, he's in his 30s too. I mean, Jeff Neal is the true welterweight here. I'm going to side with Jeff Neal to pick up the win. But, again, this won't surprise me if Dos Anjos sneaks out a decision here. But I think Neal's slightly better. It's his true weight class. I'm going to side with Jeff Neal. Renat Fakhretdinov against Nursultan Ruziboev. Ruziboev's going to have a lot of length and height here against Renat. I think Renat's going to get these takedowns kind of like Buckley did against Ruziboev. But again, I mean, Renat, you know, I think he's been losing these third rounds in these fights. So I'm going to side with Renat here. You know, he's still undefeated in the UFC. But again, he's coming off a split decision win over Dalby. So some of the hype on this guy might kind of be going away. Very impressive win over Kevin Lee. Ruziboev, this guy's very impressive too. I mean, he was having success at middleweight, and he's cutting down to welterweight now. So, lost to Buckley, he just kept getting controlled. But again, it won't surprise me if Ruziboev can pull this off. But I'm going to side with Renat still. Shara Magomedov against Armen Petrosian. I'm on Shara here. My initial lean and pick was Armen. I mean, these are two world-class kickboxers, man. But Shara, you know, he's been finding ways to win. And Armen, I think he's a really good fighter as well. You know, so I think this is a very close fight. It's probably a dog or pass situation. I'm going to lean Shara just because of, you know, this fight is taking place in the Middle East in front of, you know, judges that may favor him if it comes to the scorecards. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing how this fight plays out, because Shara, he's been picking up wins. He's been picking up wins, but he can be controlled on the ground, you know. But he's been finding ways to win, and I'm going to keep siding with the guy that's finding ways to win. Magomed Ankalaev against Alexander Rakic. Rakic took a tremendous amount of damage in that loss to Yuri, man. He had his moments, but Yuri was able to weather the storm and just batter him, man. And Rakic took a ton of punishment, and they're not giving him no favors here in Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev, he should be next for the light heavyweight title. Fight for it. He deserves it. And I think he's going to beat Rakic here. I don't know if he gets Rakic out of there, but I see Ankalaev getting the win. Lerone Murphy against Dan Ige. Very impressive win against with Lerone Murphy beating Barboza, I think, back in May. I just think he's the better fighter compared to Dan Ige, man. He's got great takedown defense, good stand-up. And we kind of know what Ige is at this point. He's a fun fighter, exciting fighter, but I think Lerone Murphy is just slightly better. So I'm going to side with Lerone Murphy here. Robert Whittaker against Khamzat Chimaev. I'm going to side with Robert Whittaker here, man. Again, we haven't seen Khamzat go 5 rounds. Khamzat, I mean, he could come out of here and get Whittaker out of here in round 1. I mean, we don't, you know, or Khamzat might show improved cardio, but this fight is rebooked. It was supposed to take place, I want to say, back in August. When did Whittaker fight? In June. No, this fight was supposed to take place back in June. Ikram took the fight on short notice. Whittaker got him out of there very, very early. So, this fight's been in the makings for a while. You know, and this might allow Khamzat to get his medical stuff under control, his conditioning even better. I'm going to side with Whittaker here, but again, I can see Khamzat getting it done, but we haven't seen this guy go 5 rounds. We know Whittaker can go 5 rounds all day. So, I'm going to side with Robert Whittaker here. Ilya Topuria against Max Holloway. I'm going to side with the dog here, man. We're getting crazy dog price with Max Holloway. We're looking at plus 195 right now on Max Holloway. And, you know, he couldn't, you know, he lost the Volk all 3 times. Holloway did. Or Ilya Topuria, you know, he solved the Volk riddle right away. You know, he beat Volk in the 2nd round. But MMA math isn't everything. So, Holloway coming off a nice win over Gaethje. 69-inch reach. 69-inch reach for Topuria. Topuria, 5 years younger. 5'7" to 5'11". I'm going to side with Holloway here, but again, nothing's going to surprise me here. Ilya's the champ for a reason. I'm going with Max because of the dog odds on him. You know, and this guy's on a mission, but again, Ilya might be the present and the future. So, but my pick will be Holloway based on the odds. So guys, my picks: Holloway, Whittaker, Murphy, Ankalaev, Shara Magomedov, Fakhretdinov, Neal, Magomedov, Cerqueira, Orolbal, Basharat, Naurdiev, Tafa, and Nurmagomedov.